The Impractical Talkers Sports Show is back on this Monday after an episode off last Friday due to technical difficulties we were having.
Yeah, I was going to say, you hit the play button there, and last time it just did not go.
Yeah, it didn't
go.
Just
circled and circled,
last Friday,
and we waited.
Yep, last Friday.
Today, we waited, and it took us a second there. I got a little nervous, but we're back.
Yeah, we're back. Yeah, last Friday we hit the play button, and it just buffered and buffered and buffered and buffered and kept buffering until we realized something was wrong, and we couldn't fix the problem. But today, Sam said, buffered for like a second, but we're back. We're back at 10 o'clock today. It's not going to be always, just this one time we're back at 10 o'clock. It will be usually our 11 to 12 will stay the same. This one day, a certain time, Tom has to go to be at work by a certain time, so we're doing 10 to 11. But anyway, welcome back to the show. Jordan here as always. Tom to my right today. Ringo over the Skype. As I do that, yep. How are we doing today on this earlier Monday episode?
Well, a little bit more tired, but I feel like the day off Monday was good just because
Friday.
Friday.
Yeah.
See, that's how tired I am. Friday, just because the Giants-Patriots game, didn't really want to talk about it, even though the Giants did put up a fight there in the first half, and it was just a sloppy game by both offenses. Or was it a great game by both defense? Sloppy game by both offenses. And second half rolls, and they lose 35-14. Not only because I had that pick for our Thursday night game, I had the Giants plus 17. Yeah. That's upsetting. But also just as a Giants fan, Daniel Jones didn't look the best. But it's also against the number one defense.
Yeah, Patriots defense is unreal.
Yeah.
In today's game where it's offense, everyone loves offense. It's amazing what they're doing, that defense.
I still can't believe I don't care who they played. They started the first three games letting up 1 point a game. They let up three total points to the Steelers in the first three games of the season, which is insane.
It doesn't matter who you're playing. If you can,
if you can do that, you can play the Dolphins 3 weeks in a row. If you let up 3 points in those three games, that's still impressive.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Total. Yeah, that's still impressive.
And they have Stephon Gilmore looking like primetime Darrelle Revis out there.
Yeah.
He's unreal at corner right now. He's the best corner in the game as of this moment. It's Stephon Gilmore. Then you got the McCourty twins, who are playing like they're pretty much they're like in their 30s.
And there was a question if they were going to retire.
Yeah, they were
last year after the Super Bowl. Yep.
You're right. There was a question as if the McCourty twins were going to retire, and they came back this year. They're better than ever. They got another good corner too. The Patriots. I forgot. He's Pro Football Focus like number 2 ranked corner. I forgot his name. I forgot his name. Anyway, but a lot to talk about. We had a lot going on this weekend. We had football. As Tom was briefly talking about football. The Giants played Thursday. They lost Thursday. We had the Jets, but we'll get into the Jets a little bit later because the big one that dominated the headlines, the ALCS started. The Yankees swept off the Twins. The Astros scathed off the Rays in a best-of-5, winning Game 5. And so we got a rematch 2017. Yankees, Astros in Houston for the first 2 games. Yankees convincingly take Game 1, and that's what you needed right off the bat. You needed the Yankees to win one of these 2 games. It was great to see the Yankees win Game 1.
Well, now, let's preface this. You said you needed. So we're talking to Yankee fans right now because I didn't need them. I don't want them to win. I didn't need the Yankees to win any games. I would like them to go 0-2.
Yes, Tom. You took that too literally.
No, just because I was watching the game last night, and I just have, out of, what is it? We have 5 people in our group chat.
Yeah.
I'd say 3 of them are Yankee fans. I walked away for 10 minutes, right? 10 minutes. I come back, 105 messages. And this is every Yankee game, guys. 100 and some odd messages.
You had the one Yankee game where we were all available to watch the game. Usually I'm at work, someone's at work, and it's not that busy. This was the one. Sundays were all off.
It was a Sunday night.
Yeah, Sundays were all off.
100 and some odd messages. And I'm just like, I'm not even going through this. I'll just skimp some of it. Tanaka should have been this, that, the other thing. I'm like, okay. But 105 messages in 10 minutes. I'm like, oh, my God. I just hope
when
they
was
lose.
this? After the game or during the game?
We'd be doing
this
the
during
same
the
thing.
game? It didn't matter. It could have been from the first inning to the 10th inning, that 2-hour span without a hit, the full 5 hours. It didn't matter. It was
probably just the 10th inning alone. What was going on in that 10th inning?
You know, I wish I wouldn't have touched my phone from the first to the last out just to see how many messages to get, because there had to be over 500 messages.
500?
I truly believe.
I don't know
that.
about 500.
I think over 200. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I had over 110 minutes, and the game was 5 hours, so I'm going to go over 500.
If it was the Mets playing, like Riggle just said, it would have been the same thing. I would have been texting just as much because I've been involved.
But I don't think so, because you wouldn't have had our friend Justin in there. You wouldn't have had him. He's another main person.
You would have been a Met fan, and I would have been talking 100% if it was the Mets.
Oh boy!
If it was the Jets or the Giants,
yeah, it would have been the same thing.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, it got a little hectic. But Saturday's game 1. Yeah, Saturday's game 1. Tanaka puts on a show. What do they win? 6-0, 7-0. The Yankees' first game. Great start. 7-0. Great start to the series. It's you didn't expect them to win 7-0 game 1, shut out Houston in Houston, but hey, they did it. So you got home field advantage back on your side. You took game 1. That's exactly what you needed. The controversial decision, which we will touch back on in a second because it needs to be addressed, is Boone's quick pulling. He's just so quick to pull the trigger on his starters. Was game 1, Tanaka, 68 pitches, 1 hit, 6th inning. They're up 3-0. 68 pitches, and you pull them?
So now we could look at this in a few different ways. One way is you look at it, they pulled Tanaka, which I would say early as well, with 60-some-odd pitches and 6 innings and only letting up, what did you say, 1 hit?
Yeah.
So that's just crazy to pull him, especially when you're up 3-0 and he's on a roll like that. So Boone's, I'm guessing, a little bit maybe nervous trying to pull him before anything blows up, or he's looking a little bit too much into analytics, you could say. But game 1, you can't really argue too much just because they won the game. They did what they needed to.
They did win the game.
They won the game. Now, yes,
you
if
taxed
Tanaka,
your bullpen. You got to look down the road here because game 3, they're going to be shot.
Well, see, here's the thing. They all had a day off. And game 3, are they going to be shot? I don't know, just because how much work did they get game 1 and 2? Did they get – because he went through how many pitchers yesterday?
Went to the whole bullpen.
Exactly, but how many pitches did they?
Kane only threw a good amount.
I think they went like 7 to 8 innings last night, and they went in the bull. You're talking about the bullpen in general. Went 3 innings the game 1, right? So that's a lot.
You shouldn't even have to use the bullpen in the game 1. You could have had Tanaka go
until
8
you
innings.
had to. Until you had to.
You didn't.
Yep. But see, here's the thing: as if I was a Yankee fan, I would be a little concerned about it, like you guys or Jordan is saying, well, let's see game 3 now if we still have that bullpen. But guess what? We won game 1. That's what we needed. Now we will cross that bridge when we get to it. Because all I would be concerned about is if you take out Tanaka, 60-some-odd pitches, 6 innings, 1 hit, and then, bam, they blow the lead and that's it. Then, yes, that's an even bigger problem. But they got the win. That was most important.
If Tanaka blew it, you don't know if Tanaka would have blown
it. You let
him
one hit.
No. If they pulled Tanaka, and then the last few innings they blew the game.
Yeah.
If they lost game 1 after pulling, Tanaka,
they won game 1. It's great, but you got to look down the road because now you're going to game 3 against this animal, Garrett Cole, who's been untouchable since like May. Not even the postseason, just May on
the whole season.
The whole season. This guy's. I don't think he's lost.
What was it? The last 26 starts or something?
He hasn't
lost, and he's like, what is it, 18 or something?
It's unreal.
It's
how do you
crazy.
do that as a pitcher in this league nowadays?
I don't know.
But yeah,
him.
He's just too quick to You knew you're going to use the bullpen a lot, and not even this series, the playoffs. So you're thinking I can really love a really good start for my starter, so I don't have to use him. And you got that game 1, and you still pulled him really early. I don't know because the analytics bit you in the ass yesterday. You're saying, oh, Tanaka, maybe he doesn't have a good average, a third time around the lineup. I don't know. Well, yesterday you pulled Chad Green after he was dominating for 2 innings, only throwing 25 pitches, dominating the Astro lineup. You pull him. Ottavino throws 1 pitch to Springer, and he hits it to Guam, and it's tied because they thought it was a good matchup, Ottavino versus Springer, and he threw a hanging breaking pitch right down the middle, and Springer took it over the wall in a heartbeat, and there's a tie game. And then Ottavino's gone. So, yeah, you'll have Ottavino for game 3, but Canely threw a lot of pitches. Britton didn't really throw a lot. But you just hate. You don't want to see your manager in Game 1 pulling your starter at 68 pitches in the 6th inning up 3-0, and you don't want to see your manager pulling an opener guy in Chad Green who can go a lot of innings after he's looking dominant, and you don't want to see him make that mistake immediately be blown up in his face by Ottavino throwing one pitch, and boom, it's gone, and it's a tie game.
No, I completely agree with that because, yes, you want to do what, you got to, expect Boone to think what he wants to do to win the game, but it's not a wild card game. It's a 7-game series. So he needs to be and it's the Astros. You're not playing against the Twins anymore. You're not playing against the Rays or the Oakland A's. It's the Astros. And okay, big deal. Let's say he thinks pulling Tanaka is the right decision to get this win. You got that win. But one win isn't what you're trying to get. You're trying to get 4.
Yeah.
So you got to look down the road.
And it's not like if you keep Tanaka in, you risk getting even 1. You weren't risking. If you keep Tanaka in that game, you don't get criticized, unless he lets up 3 runs in a row and then you keep him in. No, if Tanaka lets up a couple hits and the Astros start getting guys on base, then you pull him. But
he could have waited till he let up his 2nd, 3rd, or 4th hit.
Yeah, I was gonna say with 68 pitches and 6 innings, I'm easily thinking 9 innings, complete game.
That's what I said yesterday.
I'm not picking up that phone at all if I'm Aaron Boone.
Yeah, I don't.
If he's got 1 hit
through 6 with
through
68
6
pitches
and 68
and the Yankees
pitches.
just added 2 runs the inning before.
If he lets up back-to-back hits, then you could think about it. But I'm not even thinking about it yet.
How many times did he even go through the lineup by then?
1 hit through 6. That's like he was probably going through the 3rd time.
Yeah.
That was.
I was gonna say I know there's some pitchers who have a huge jump going through 3rd time they go to the lineup hitting above 300 on them, and even then it's still questionable to pull them that early when you have that many pitches. So it's just what is Aaron Boone thinking? Is he looking at analytics? Is he looking at trying to pull it before? It's a bomb in his hand and he's just throwing it away. Who knows? It's just.
Did any beat writer or anyone question him?
I've been seeing if you take on incarcerated Bob as
did he have a direct
something.
response to this?
Boone? No, I've not seen a direct response to this. I'm sure they asked him after Game 1 why they pulled Tanaka, but I didn't see anything. But Game 1 goes to the Yankees. Yankees went 7-0. They hit Greinke. They hit the bullpen. Good performance. Gleyber Torres looking like a stud in Game 1. And now we're going to last night's game, Game 2. Verlander's in, and you're just like, God, just get him out of the game and either 1, be close in the game or 2, be tied. And they got that. Astros take a 2nd inning, 1-0 lead. Paxton comes out of the game. Next inning, Judge, 2-run home run. Yankees are in the lead. And then Chad Green just mows down the Astro offense. Just absolutely mows them down. 2 innings, no hits, 2 strikeouts, 26 pitches. They couldn't touch him. And Chad Green's a guy who's been an opener and started as a starter in his career. So he could have went a little bit more.
I was going to say, how much do you think you could have got out of him?
Another inning. They yanked him. And then, boom, next pitch. Ottavino throws a hanging slider. Home run. Then he's out of the game. It's like, that didn't work.
So I just want to quickly touch it, though, yesterday with the walk-off by Carlos Correa. That was the first pitch in the bottom of the inning.
Yeah.
I walked away for a second. I came back. And the game was over. You were watching it, obviously. You probably did not get up. From that TV coming back on and the game being called to the game being over, how quickly was that?
The replay was ending as the ball was being pitched. And once the replay ended, the ball was, leaving the infield. They showed a replay of the strike 3 call on Sanchez before the end, at the top of the 11th.
Which I want to dive into a little bit after.
Yeah, they showed that replay, ended the replay, and the ball was leaving Springer's bat. It was that quick. And the moment that ball, Correa's bat. The moment the ball hit the bat, I'm like, it's gone. It's J. Happ. How long can you go with J. Happ without letting up a run?
That's also funny because Happ did what he needed to in the 10th.
Yeah, he got out of a jam.
And then you threw him back out there. So Boone likes to pull people a little
other
early.
Option. It's Luis Sessa is the next option. So what he was going to do with J. Happ, it's all right, go out there and start a game. You're going to throw 4 innings here. See what happens. Okay, he made it through. He got us out of that 10th. Yankees finally put pressure on the Astros in the top of the 11th, but to no avail. And then Correa wins it. But
And what were the Astros, 1-10? 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position?
yeah,
I
they
believe?
weren't hitting with runners in scoring position. So that's the same theme with the Twins series. Twins couldn't hit with runners in scoring position against the Yankees. Twins this series aren't hitting in runners in scoring position either. They got the 2 home. They didn't score in game 1. They had 2 home runs yesterday. And that was enough. Yankee bats really didn't put much pressure on the bullpen either. It took them a while to even get a guy.
It was a
on second
low
base.
hit game by both teams. Only Houston had 7 hits total, and Yankees had 6.
Yeah, 7 hits to 6 in an 11-inning game.
Yeah.
And then Yankees Astros, only 11 combined hits in 11 innings.
I was going to say, and there was a few hours between hits, and I believe Brett Gardner had the last hit in the 6th, and then
The last hit for the Yankees in the 11th. Yeah.
Yep, so that's crazy. But you quickly mentioned it about Gary Sanchez strike 3 call in the the top of the 11th.
Mhm.
And I say, yes, it was outside. But you look at literally the pitch right before that, a ball in the dirt, not even close to Gary, swings and completely misses. Wasn't even close.
Yeah, it looked like he
And-
completely missed.
And the ump called it foul tip.
Gary immediately, which was weird, said he fouled it off. He immediately pointed at the bat and said he fouled
Maybe
it
that's
off.
just social awareness. That's just awareness.
I don't know. When you miss that bad, your
You should have been
instinct is
disgusted.
like, okay, I'm out. I swung and missed. I'm out.
But nope, called it foul tip, and he gets to stay on and get a 4th strike. Now, was it a
Just
makeup?
trying to get the call.
Was it a makeup call?
Yeah, was it?
So I
Possibly.
mean, honestly,
'Cause that wasn't a strike.
as a Yankee fan, what were you feeling right there? Were you like, oh, that's a makeup call? Like, are you angry with it being a makeup call if it is, or how do you feel about that? Because obviously he should have been out the pitch before.
Yeah.
So anything after that is just, I
It's
guess,
whatever.
sweet.
It's whatever. It's whatever. I really don't get worked up about those things. It's whatever. That wasn't a foul ball, and that wasn't a strike 3. It was outside. The pitch was outside. That was a ball, and it looked like he came nowhere near the ball on the quote unquote foul, on the phantom foul tip. It looks like he came not even close to it. So it's like, all right, whatever. We got some luck on our side. He's still alive. But then it's
That's
like,
just a
okay.
big moment for the ump. He heard what Gary did, and he panicked, and he just made a call.
But watching the replay and hearing the ump, it seemed like the ump called it
Immediately.
Really?
Like, I don't even think
No, he
Gary
did.
had a chance to
No, the
look
ump
at the
immediately
ump.
called foul ball. They
Oh,
played
God.
The audio back. He
I think
immediately
the ump
called
was just shocked that it was that bad of a pitch and swing, and he was like, oh, he had to foul that, right? Nope. 2 feet
Yeah,
to the
he coulda-
side
he
in the
probably
dirt.
didn't- He probably didn't make a makeup call that next pitch. He's probably thinking like anywhere close. He had to think like Gary's like he had to think that Gary was thinking like, all right, I just got away with the one, so anywhere close to the plate, I got to be swinging. And the ump's like, anywhere close to the plate, I'm calling it a strike.
But Gary wasn't thinking that. He
Yeah,
should
yeah.
have been swinging.
Yeah,
Because
Gary swung at every pitch. Yeah,
I was going to say he was swinging at everything else.
Yep.
Why didn't you
Gary
don't
was
think that?
swinging at everything under the sun that at bat, and then that last strike 3, that actually the one that counted for strike 3, that was still a ball, but it was close. He didn't swing at. He swung at the one before, the phantom foul tip, that double hop to the plate. Didn't double hop. I'm just exaggerating how bad of a pitch it was. And quickly about the Houston crowd. You guys have been to a baseball game, right? Unless you're sitting behind home plate, can you tell if it's a ball over strike where you're sitting? Like, can you really say,
If it's high and low, yes. But if it's either a little bit to the left, outside, inside a little bit, that's hard to tell from the side.
It's hard to tell if it's a ball over strike unless you're behind home plate or above home plate from behind it. So behind it, pretty much.
I was going to say, if you're in the outfield,
Maybe.
Maybe.
But, like, there were pitches that weren't even close, and the Houston crowd was like, oh, come on.
They're just in the moment. They're just like,
yeah, and what
idiots.
if it's, I don't know how it is shown in Houston, but what if it's on a couple screens, a couple jumbotrons?
If it's on a couple jumbotrons, they're even dumber then because they were reacting to some egregious pitches that were not even close. Like, oh, come on.
they just want to. They're just in the moment.
gonna
They
say,
want to just complain about the bad ones
every
and celebrate
Yankee
the
fans
good
would do
ones.
It, Met fans,
I
Brewers,
gotta say, it's
you
the
name it,
ALCS.
they'll do it, yeah.
They're just a little.
They were hyped. They were loud last night, Houston.
Yeah.
And then the thing with Gary Sanchez, and I believe it was that same at bat, was he hit a foul ball, or maybe it wasn't going to be foul. Who knows? It would have been close. A pop up.
The ceiling.
Yep. So he even got an even longer life just due to them playing in a dome.
Yeah. So if the ball is hit in fair territory and it hits something on the ceiling, it's alive, right? Only if it's foul and it hits something in the ceiling, it's dead, right?
I don't know. I honestly, if I was an Astro fan
That
or a
would
Tampa
suck.
Bay Ray fan, maybe I would know them, but I don't know just because I haven't had to deal with that like that. But I don't know if it's fair. I thought maybe is it ground rule?
Yeah, we got to check
Could
that
be-
because if you got to play it off the ceiling,
Yeah,
like,
no, that would suck.
yeah,
No,
It
no,
keeps
wait. I just
ricocheting.
remembered.
It's
Last season, Clint Frazier against the Rays hit a ball, fair territory, that hit part of the ceiling, and the guy adjusted. I think the shortstop adjusted and caught the fly ball.
But did
and
they
he was
call,
out.
And did they call it like off?
It would have been a home run. It was he crushed it, and it would have been a home run. But it hit like a stanchion on the ceiling and came and.
But on the field, I'm asking, did the umps call it off the ceiling and say, "Oh, that deflected off something,"
Yeah.
or did they just call it and not even?
No. Everyone knew it hit the ceiling, and then it was a shot to left field. It would have been a home run, but the ball hit a stanchion in the ceiling, and it wound up the shortstop adjusted and made the catch on the fly, and he was out. So yeah, if the ball's in fair territory and it hits something in the ceiling, it's a fair. You got to play it, I guess. But foul territory, it's a dead ball. Because the ump threw up his arms when Gary hit that one last night. But back to Game 2. Yeah, that game absolutely sucks to lose because you get Verlander, one of their aces, and you get him out of the game, and the game's tied. That's a game you got to win for the Yankees. It's 100% a game you got to win. You got a great chance to go home up 2-0, and they let it slip through their fingers. So
the game's tied, but the momentum's with the Yankees.
Yeah, you gotta find a way to win that game.
So you think the momentum's with the Yankees? You said
no. I think he said in the game the momentum was with the Yankees.
Oh.
When Verlander was coming out, and even though the game was tied, you have to think that the momentum's with the Yankees.
Oh,
because...
I thought you meant like the series is tied.
Oh no.
Yeah. Going into game 1 was Saturday. Friday, I would have said on the show, you split. You're great right now. And right now, yeah, the Yankees are looking good. They split. But the way you're going into Game 3 after that Game 2 loss really does suck. You didn't want to lose a game like that. Like what I said, you get Verlander out of the game, tied 2-2. You don't want to lose those games. And the way they spent their bullpen last night, yeah, you're going to have Britton and Ottavino because Britton and Ottavino didn't throw much. But, if you're going to use all your big heads in one game, you want to win.
So
And the way they unnecessarily used it in Game 1.
And then I think you look forward to who your Game 3 starter is, and you have to have that play a little bit of a factor. Is your Game 3 starter somebody who you are confident is going to go for the long haul, maybe 6-7 innings, or is your Game 3 starter somebody who might be pulled?
And what
the first
Severino
3?
showed, he's going to be 4 or 5 innings. Unfortunately, that's what he showed us in the postseason. So he'll go 4 or 5 innings, and then Ottavino will come in. Because Chad Green, I don't think you use again. Chad Green was used already.
That's another thing, too, with Boone. You got a pitcher on your roster that just got back from injury that is getting a limited innings to begin with, getting worked back in because he hasn't been back for long. And, that's down the road. How do you not use Tanaka for as long as you could?
I know. I said yesterday, you want to go into the series being, man, we can really use a long quality start from one of our starters. And right off the bat Saturday, you got that. And you still went to the bullpen for no reason.
But you said coming back from injury, and it's going to be a little bit careful.
Yeah, if Severino was healthy all season, you can hope he goes 8.
Yeah,
but
he'll be 4 or
that's
5
not
tomorrow.
That's not the case right now because he's coming back from injury.
Yeah, he'll be a 4 or 5 inning.
So in the back of your head, that if you're Boone, and you're gonna have to use the bullpen in Game 3, and you're too quick to use the bullpen in Game 1.
Yesterday, pulling Paxton was 100% reasonable.
Yes,
Pulling Chad Green was controversial.
Exactly.
So now here's the thing. I just go back to it. You said you know that in Game 3 you're gonna have to use the bullpen. He might just be managing game by game. He's taking it
You
game
can't
by
do that
game.
in the ALCS.
You can do that in a wild card game. You can't do that in a
You really got to look ahead.
7-game series.
Yeah, you can't do that in an ALCS.
Mhm.
Because he did it against the Twins.
It depends
with
on what
Tanaka.
team you have.
He did it with Tanaka against the Twins. Tanaka was pitching a gem against the Twins, and he pulled him. I don't remember in what inning, but it was like he shouldn't have pulled him, and he pulled him.
So maybe Boone just has something with Tanaka. He just doesn't.
No, because it was Chad Green, too, yesterday. Chad Green was dealing. Like, they couldn't touch him, and they pulled him, and then Paxton I don't think I threw one pitch and lit up a home run. And there's the game right there. There's a tie game. Yeah, it's very weird with the quick hand to pull his starters.
So-
When Garrett Cole in his 2 starts have thrown 100 pitches in each of them. Verlander's thrown 100 pitches, threw 100 pitches yesterday. It's like you can let Tanaka throw 100 pitches. He'll have a long time off. His next start won't be till Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That's 4 days. I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, he can go on 4 days rest.
Yeah, I think he'll be okay. You don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to. He doesn't have to hit 110, 120. Like, it doesn't have to get ridiculous.
Yeah,
but
he could have went to
68
90 that game
Even
easily.
pull him at 90. Yeah, 90, 95. Like, he can throw 30 more pitches.
It was going into the 7th inning. He had 68 pitches. He could have went to the 9th.
I'm saying he could have thrown out. We don't know how many innings it would have taken him to do it, but he could have thrown 30 more pitches.
Yeah, he could have, and it would have been completely fine. He could have won a complete game if he got to that.
So one of our friends said that if former Yankee manager Joe Girardi was still on the bench, they'd be up 2-0 right now. How you feel about that, Jordan?
Wasn't he just as quick to pull the starters too? From what I remember.
That's something you would know. I wouldn't know that as
I
much.
I was going to say, well, we'll find out.
I don't remember.
Ringo, we'll find out when
2
he's
years ago.
managing the Mets.
Managing the Mets, yeah.
We'll find out with DeGrom and Syndergaard.
But hey, the Yankees face a little bit of adversity right now, and they've done in the playoffs. They faced it just 2 years ago against Houston. They went back home down 2-0 and then won 3 in a row. That year against Cleveland, they went down 2-0 going home and lost Game 2 in a again. That Game 2 loss against Cleveland in the ALDS in 2017 was a lot worse than yesterday, where they blew like a 6-run lead, and Joe Girardi should have challenged something that he could have gotten in his favor and didn't. They wound up losing the game in extras. So yeah, they faced adversity before, and this is not as bad as the 2017 ALDS and CS because the Yankees are going home tied 1-1, and the Astro offense right now is struggling to play on the road. They got walloped by the Rays in both road games. They struggled on the road against the Yankees in 2017. And right now the Astros are struggling to hit runners in scoring position. But they have one big thing in their favor for Game 3, the Astros. Garrett Cole's pitching. So that's going to be their problem. And again, Yankees got to do what they did in Game 2. Get Garrett Cole out of the game, either tied or they're in the game. And you can take the word in the game however you would like. Winning, down 1, threatening to tie the game, and you got to pull Garrett Cole. You need to do what you did to Verlander. Get him out of the game with the game tied. That's, I think, your number one priority. Whether it be 0-0 or 1-1. That's what you need.
What if it's 3-3? Oh, wow, look at that.
If it's 3-3, that's a great sign. That means you hit Garrett Cole, but it's also a bad sign to mean like the Astros are hitting again.
So, we have talked about the ALCS. Obviously, whoever wins between the Yankees and Astros is going to have an opponent in the World Series. NLCS, Nationals, sadly, up 2-0 on the Cardinals. Are we surprised with this?
I can't believe what they're doing. They're on some hot streak right now.
Anibal Sanchez looked like another human being this postseason. He's been unreal. And then Scherzer. And then you got Strasburg in Game 3.
I was going to say, the three big pitchers you would figure from the Nationals, not even being talked about, as you said, the first pitcher named, Anibal Sanchez. Not the big three from them.
Yeah, Corbin's been all right. He's been great. Then you got Scherzer tonight, probably. That's another big head. And then you go Corbin Game 4. And then you can use Scherzer and Anibal Sanchez out of the bullpen.
Tonight.
It's who?
It's Strasburg tonight.
I just said that.
No, you said Scherzer.
No, I said this.
No.
I said Strasburg tonight, And then Game 4, you go Corbin and possibly go Scherzer out of the bullpen.
For some reason, I heard Scherzer tonight.
Maybe.
I wasn't listening.
I could have said Scherzer.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure. I'm
I'm not going to kill you for it.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
But, yeah, so they take Game 3, let's say, because they got Strasburg, who's been a very good postseason performer, and he had a very good year this year. You take Game 3. Game 4, you got the gun to the Cardinals' head. You got Corbin, who hasn't been great this postseason, but is a good pitcher. It's not like you're going in there with J. Happ. You're going in with Patrick
J.A.
Corbin.
got you out of a jam, okay?
Yeah.
That's what he needed to do. And
then
then
went up a game-winning home run next inning.
Well,
so.
I would not have put him out there again, but like you said,
You
the
had to
bullpen-
put him out there.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not like J. Happ came in the 7th inning, and then the 8th inning they kept him out there. No.
It's easy to say that now, knowing that he gave up the home run, but like you don't have much option.
J. Happ could have
the
got them out of
bullpen
the
left.
inning in the 7th inning. I wouldn't have put
Well,
J.
what
Happ
was
in there.
CC
But
Sabathia's usage?
he got one batter out. That's all you
Okay.
needed.
So that's all you needed, but that's where I would have.
Well, Isaac
maybe
couldn't throw
differed.
strikes, and then J. Happ got 2 big outs. But then I knew the moment J. Happ came in, I told my brother, I'm like, this is a starter. He's starting now. He's gonna go.
Yeah,
4
in
or
a
5
tie
innings.
game in extra innings, you have to expect him to go 2, 3, 4 innings.
Yeah, that's what was expected. I was not shocked. Like, oh, how is he still in the game?
He's not facing one batter and leaving.
And let's say he gets out of the 11th inning, no matter what happens. I'm like, he's coming back out for the 12th inning, and maybe the 13th inning, because your next guy is Luis Sessa, and then after that, who's next? No one.
Severino.
Yes, no, you can't. So back to the Nationals. The Nationals right now are in the driver's seat. They got the foot to the Cardinals' throat. They got Strasburg going tonight, and if they win tonight, Game 4 at home, where you got another animal out of the bullpen in Scherzer you can use potentially, which will be kind of risky, but you can still use Scherzer, and you got a solid pitcher in Corbin again, but he hasn't been great, but it's not like he's some scrub. It's Patrick Corbin. He had a great year this year. So Nationals, the miracle Nationals, the year removed where they do not have Bryce Harper, beat off the NL champions in the Dodgers in a Game 5, and now we're taking it to the Cardinals, just completely shutting down their bats, with Anibal Sanchez looking like Max Scherzer, and Max Scherzer looking like Max Scherzer. And the Cardinals are really with their backs against the wall right now.
So now you have the Nationals up 2-0, looking really good. You have the Yankees looking good, tied 1-1 going into Game 3. Ringo, how do you feel about this as a Met fan? My worst-case scenario, my nightmare, is seeing a Yankees-Nationals World Series.
I mean, it's going to be like 2009 all over again with the Yankees, Phillies, Yankees, Nationals. It's just going to be.
Let's just get there first.
No.
Let's
just get
We're
there.
not there yet.
Okay, yeah, it's fun for you, all right. But as a Met fan,
We're not there
I'm
yet.
I'm watching this
Yankees
unfold.
just lost a horrible Game 2.
I just need the Astros to win the World Series. That's what I need for my well-being. All right,
Or the
'Cause
Cardinals, Tom.
Yeah, you know. Well, the Cardinals. I'm not a big fan of the Cardinals, but yes, Astros first, then the Cardinals, and then I don't know. Who would you rather, Yankees or Nationals, Ringo?
I think that's an easy question, Tom. I think you would rather the Yankees over the
I really
Nationals.
don't. I don't know if I would. Because I got people.
That's
I
just
got people like
stupid.
the guy sitting next to me, Jordan.
I'm not the fan that's gonna rub it in your face. Oh, we won. I'm not gonna be
Well,
like
no,
that.
not Jordan, but I'm just like Yankee fans. We live
Yeah.
You would
on
rather-
Long
you would
Island,
rather the
New York,
Nationals
with
win
a
it.
lot of Yankee fans.
You would rather the Nationals win a surprising World Series than the Yankees win a World Series that they could have and should have won?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I'm undecisive on it.
The Yankees, there's no rivalry there. You're not a rival with the Yankees.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're a rival with the
There's
Nationals.
the hometown rivalry, but it's not as big as a
No,
division
and you
rival.
were correct. And if I was back in Pennsylvania, maybe I would be saying this. But guess what? I'm not. I have to deal with Yankee fans.
Like if you were to ask me who would you rather win a Stanley Cup, the Maple Leafs or the Rangers, I would pick the Rangers because I could not stand. For the
Yeah,
That's
but
a little
the Rangers
different, though,
doesn't
'cause
have
the
the
Rangers-
Yankees history.
But that's a little
I'm
different,
just
Jordan. 'cause
giving
the
you an
Rangers,
example of like who I would like.
but
who I
that's
would
different,
pick.
Jordan, because the Rangers are in the Islanders division, so they are rivals. They are division
Yeah, but I would still pick the
rivals.
Maple
Whatever you.
Leafs.
What?
I would still pick the Rangers to win over the Maple Leafs. That would be a hard one to.
We
hard
kind
one
of
to pick.
contradicted the whole.
I did contradict the whole thing. I'm just throwing
Yeah,
in my 2
you
cents.
kind of just messed up everything.
Yeah,
now.
I did. But I'm just throwing in my 2
And plus,
cents.
John Tavares is a part of this now, so that's completely different too. So
Mainly because of the fans.
Yeah.
I could not deal with the Maple Leaf fans. They're on another level of annoying. So I could not deal with them. Like, yeah, if your reasoning for the Yankees would be my reasoning for the Maple Leafs not winning, times 100.
But we can all agree, well, me and Jordan could agree, Jet fans are horrible too, especially segueing into yesterday's game.
Yes. All right, so the Jets won their first game yesterday. The New York Jets are 1-4.
They 0-4 going into the Cowboys, who started out the season 3-0, dropped their last 2 going into yesterday.
Yeah.
You still got to believe the Cowboys were going to win that game.
Yeah.
And win 80.
100%.
So now, that's why I took the Cowboys -7. Obviously, that failed in my face.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go.
The Falcons messed me up again. I'm done with the Falcons now.
Disastrous for some 2 teams. The Cowboys and Rams combined.
Oh, no. It gets worse. Finish this. Cowboys, Rams, Chiefs.
Chiefs just lost 2 in a row.
Yes, so
The Chiefs lost 2 in a row at home.
Yeah.
So here you had the Cowboys 3-0. You
Rams
had the
3-0.
Yep, that's 6, and then you had the Chiefs.
Who were 4-0?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So that's now.
Now we have 3-3, 3-3, 4-2.
Yeah, so they lost a combined last 8. They were 0-8.
Oh yeah, these 3 potential powerhouses. Yep.
There's a lot of
the
people
teams like
losing
the
money
Jets
out
and the
there.
Steelers slipping back into the race.
I was going to
And
say
the
the
Jets,
Giants wanna
too.
get back, baby.
Yeah, the Giants are only 1 game back. The Steelers are 2 games back. No, we're not saying there's any
right now.
chance.
It's just funny. Like they
And
should
the
be
Jets
dead
are
in the water.
win. Yeah, they should be dead in the water. And the Jets got their 1 win. But yeah, yesterday Sam Darnold makes his return from the Epstein-Barr virus, otherwise known as mono, after a month off. 0-4 Jets, home to the Dallas Cowboys. And my God, the first half the Jets looked like the 07 Patriots, just throwing the ball around. The defense looked like the current Patriots defense. Anytime the Cowboys couldn't get anything going, anytime they got the ball close, they got a huge 4th down stop inside their own 10-yard line, the Jets. Next play action, Robbie Anderson over the top, touchdown, 92 yards. Second longest play in Jet history. Touchdown play in Jet history was that 92-yard bomb to a wide-open Robbie Anderson.
I believe it.
Yeah, wide-open Robbie Anderson.
Oh, man.
The Jets did play a good first half on both sides of the ball. The Cowboys played an awful game, to put it that way. The Cowboys did not look good. Jets take the lead into half. What was it, 21-6?
21-6. Their kicker, Maher, kicked a 62-yard field goal to end the half.
Yeah, and then mixed a crucial chip shot, like a 40-yarder in the second half, which would have changed the whole complexion of the game. What did they lose, 24-16?
No, they lost 24-22.
24-22.
Yeah, they missed the 2-point conversion.
And if he hits that, and he hits that field goal, he hits a 62-yarder but misses the 40. Hits the 40, a lot different game we're looking at here. A little bit different of a game we're looking at here. It's easy to say, if he hits that field goal, they win 25-24 or whatever.
Yeah, no, but the game's different from then on out.
Yeah, he shouldn't have hit a 62-yarder. But, hey, if he hits that 40-yarder, we got a different game. The second half's Jet offense looked a lot different than the first half Jet offense. They didn't really do much. They looked okay. They kind of came back down to earth, but they looked okay. They didn't look horrible.
They just weren't playing at the elite level that they were.
Yeah, they came back down to earth in the second half.
They had two quick back-to-back touchdowns. I mean, the Robbie Anderson helped. It was a 1-play, 92-yard drive, and then the following time they had possession, it was a 6-play, 65-yard drive that ended in a Ryan Griffin 5-yard touchdown pass. Yeah. So they marched right down the field again in the first half and scored. But like you said, they did not do that again in the second half. But they did come up big. The offense did come up big after Sam Darnold threw the pick. That also led to the offense slowing down. And they were moving the ball there too. But once the Cowboys scored to make it 21-16, they made it a 5-point game. Jets offense did what they needed to do. They got in field goal range in like a minute and a half or 2 minutes after that, and in place for Ficken made the 38-yarder, which made it an 8-point game, and that put the ball in the Jets' court. That way, the only way that the Cowboys could do was tie it. And they couldn't even do that.
They made the play when they had to. They had to go down the field and either kill the clock or put up points. And they kind of did both.
Yeah, they literally they did both. A
They
touchdown obviously would have been nice and more ensuring, but
Yeah, they didn't kill the whole game, but they killed a decent amount, and the Jets kind of did their job on that last drive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the offense didn't look great. Like they're kind of just like were there in the second half, but when they had to do something, they did it.
exactly, and that's something that you don't see as a Jets fan at all.
That yesterday's game was a game the Jets lose 9 times out of 10.
100%. Yeah, that's a game the Jets lose all the time.
And if I think that game went 3 minutes longer, they would have lost it. To be honest, they probably would have lost.
Definitely
the clock was on their side yesterday.
Yeah.
So, but hey, they came up with a big stop, that 2-point conversion at the end of the game there, and the Cowboys were in a position. It was interesting to hear the announcer say, basically them trying to score a touchdown from what was it, maybe 4 or 5 yards out or so. They were already sort of using their 2-point conversion plays. So they were already going through a couple of those plays that they had, which eventually ended up in a Dak Prescott sneak. And then you go again, and they send out Jamal Adams out of a cannon directly right at Dak Prescott, and Dak Prescott just has to sort of try to throw it up, but it ended up in the ground in front of Jason Witten. So I was going to say the Jets defense made the stop when they needed to. Greg Williams coming with the blitz surprises nobody, and then the onside kick, Demaryius Thomas.
Close.
Whew.
That was close.
But they have to switch to the onside kick.
I know. Yeah, they changed the rule that you can't have a running start. It gives you
And
no
they
chance
have the
to get it.
5 on
Unless
one
you have
side
Demaryius
and-
Thomas, who still wound up getting the ball back. He bobbled it.
Miracle.
And he got lucky. 2 Cowboy defenders ran right past the ball when it was bobbled.
Mm-hmm.
So
Can we back up for a second and talk about the refs and the 6 penalties that they called back to back to back to back to back to back
in a row.
Yeah.
Were they all on? I didn't. get
3
this.
half and half. I think it was half and half.
I think it was half and half, but still, maybe 1 or 2 of those were actual penalties.
Yeah, maybe 1 or 2.
Maybe 1 or 2.
It was so.
It was awful.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it was awful.
They don't.
And you want to talk about a makeup call?
Yeah. Yeah,
They
no,
were-
they just kept doing makeup calls. Like, oh,
Yeah, they had to
that was
keep
a
doing
bad
makeup
call.
calls because they keep giving bad calls.
Yeah.
The worst one was the Jamal Adams pass. Like the Blake Cashman pass interference. He was there. It was a little bit, but you could have maybe called it. I still don't think it was. But the Jamal Adams
was
one, he just defended the pass.
Yeah, it was horrible.
It was disgusting that they called that.
Yeah.
Well, that like we talked
And
about
then-
it. What the past 4 weeks, the refs. It's not surprising.
Yeah, they just because it's the game. It's not about the 2 teams. It's not about the
Yeah.
stakes. No, it's about the refs, and we have to wait on their decision, and we have to wait to see if it's okay for them to allow the game to continue. We have to wait for their word. We have to wait for them to get out of their little huddle for 5 minutes and talk about should we pick up the flag or should we call this penalty. And after 64 minutes of them deliberating, there's no flag on the play. We're going
Yeah.
back. Okay, you schmucks. But no, we had to get 6 in the biggest drive of the game. The Cowboys are driving.
That's what I'm saying.
to
Yeah,
tie
it's
the
got to
game.
happen then.
Yeah,
Like,
for the biggest drive of the game, the Cowboys are driving to tie the game. It had to get stalled 6 plays in a row, so we had to see the refs throw yellow flags all over the field because they have no idea what a penalty is anymore. And earlier in the game, I think it was that guy Phillips on the Jets. Darnold. Prescott released the ball, and he was picked up and driven into the ground. I wouldn't have called this roughing the passer. It's not. It's a football tackle.
But you just
He
said it.
rushed it
Driven into the ground.
He-
You know that you can't do that.
Wait. I'm not done.
it's
So
a tackle.
Wait. I'm not done, guys. I'm
He's
not
not
done.
done.
So, you know how literally you sneeze on the quarterback, it's roughing the passer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, Phillips runs through his guy, which was Prescott, and throws and piles him into the ground. I wouldn't have called it, okay? But nowadays with the refs, they call anything. So I'm thinking, here comes a penalty. They didn't call it. They call if you do a normal tackle on the quarterback.
I know.
This one was like, okay, with today's standards, that's a penalty. They didn't call it.
Like they have the whole, don't put your body weight on him. Don't
Oh,
drive
he put
him
his
in the
butt.
grave.
He did everything that they preach not to, and they didn't call it. But I still wouldn't have called it a penalty.
But that's the thing.
But today, with the refs today, anything's a penalty. So I was shocked.
And that's the problem. When there should be calls and there's not, that's what gets the fans even more upset because we see that they love to call everything, but you're not calling the most obvious.
Yeah. But the thing is, this play, I believe still shouldn't have been a penalty. But by today's stupid roughing the passer
But we're being
standards,
conditioned to believe that it should be a penalty.
and it wasn't. But yet they called the dumbest roughing the passers I've ever seen.
So, Ringo, coming off the refs a little bit, we talked about it on the show before. Adam Gase's offense is not looking any different week by week, even though you're having different offenses. How did it look yesterday? Same play calling, and you just have a better quarterback now? Or is it a little bit more open because of your better quarterback?
No, the playbook was definitely a lot more open than it's been with Luke Falk. Like, Gase definitely used a lot more of the playbook than he has been. I guess he didn't trust Luke Falk at all, but
you still got to change it.
But you still got to change exactly. Like, that was my criticism of Adam Gase. Like, yes, you can't
Steelers
expect
did with
Luke
Delvin
Falk.
Hodges yesterday.
I know
They
you
had
can't
a
expect
whole game plan revolving around Delvin Hodges, and then they won.
exactly.
Could have done that with Luke Falk. Not saying the Jets would have won with Luke Falk.
Yes, the outcome probably would have been the same. We would have lost every game with Luke Falk, but at least look competitive. Look like you belong in the NFL.
I just love how we have.
Tom's standing up.
Well, I was going to get a drink, but then I remembered. I love how we have somebody who is starting. How many? What was it? 3 games for you here now, and it would have been 4 if there wasn't a bye week. And you cut him. You cut him right after you get your quarterback back. So obviously that means he wasn't anything special in your eyes to keep him on in case another injury happens, or if Sam Darnold has a flare up and you have to go back to your backup. How do you have somebody starting 3 games for you and then immediately, okay, yep.
Who's their backup right now?
Now it's David Fales.
So that, stop. Go out, get a solid backup, and call it a day.
You're right. You're right. They need to. They need to get if they want to stick to the mantra that they've been, like he knows the playbook, just get Brock Osweiler. Get someone like that. He knows Adam Gase's playbook. Just someone with a little more, I can have a little more confidence in.
Yeah.
I don't know what Brock's going to give me if he has to come in, God forbid.
Like
but
the Steelers got Paxton Lynch. Like, okay, he's bad, but I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly.
As a backup. He's a backup.
Yeah.
Oh, what was it say? Blanked out about the Jets. But okay. Oh yeah. So yeah, the Jets look really good yesterday. Good win at home yesterday.
No, it was a very good win. I'll say one more thing. It was a very good win, and from the Sam Darnold perspective, that's exactly what you hoped would happen with Sam Darnold coming back.
Return. I was curious because
I
know Mono, and I'm like, I thought he'd come back a little fatigued. I thought he'd come back a little slow, but he looked good.
He did, and even regardless of Mono, just him as needing to prove himself as an NFL quarterback, from a mono or an injury, however long the absence is, why it's an absence, that's what you needed to see out of Sam Darnold coming back to this team, giving them new life and looking the way he did to give you confidence that he can be this guy that we want him to be.
But it's 1 week. Well, I'll go back to the Daniel Jones debut week. It's 1 week. He had a good game.
100%.
Giants had a good game.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that. Yeah. He's established. That's it.
Or here come the Jets.
Or here come the Jets. We're gunning for that wild card. Just take it game by game.
That's exactly right. I was about to say, let's take it week by week because we have Giants fans who are saying, well, look, we didn't have Ingram. We didn't have Shepard. We didn't have Barkley. Your 3 best players on offense we didn't have, which is all correct, and it's against the best defense in football. So, yes, obviously you're not expecting much from Daniel Jones. But you still just go out there, you still watch what he's doing, seeing how he's picking things up and throwing the ball, and that's what you take it as. I didn't expect him to win. You give me those 3 guys, I'm still not expecting the Giants to beat the Patriots with Daniel Jones as quarterback right now. That's just the fact of the matter. Now, then you have Jets fans, well, look, Sam Darnold only has this, that, and that. Yeah, that's great and all, but you watch Sam Darnold, you take what he is giving you, and you go on to the next week. Stop counting your eggs and you going, oh, well, we have these many players. We have these many good players. Just take it for what it's worth. New York right now is in a great position with 2 young quarterbacks. It's just that simple.
Yeah, but instead of just having, we can't just have that. We have to now look to the playoffs. We're only this many games back of the wild card. This team is now a better team. It's 1 week. It's week 6. You got to play the Patriots next week.
There's literally 10 more games left to play.
And the Jets schedule gets easy. But hey, a bad team yesterday in the Jets beat a good team in the Cowboys.
See, but are the Cowboys obviously 3-0. They were looking great. Dak Prescott was
Hey, they're
getting
better
his
than the
money,
Jets.
being an MVP caliber
But I
player.
gotta hear that like the Jets have a chance now because their schedule gets easier. But yeah, they can lose just as much as the Cowboys lost yesterday or the Chiefs lost. Yeah, the Texans are good, but the Chiefs.
Just because the schedule is easier doesn't mean you're going to win every game.
But also,
Atlanta had to hold on. Atlanta does. I can't. I'm not going to use Atlanta. Never mind.
But now here's the thing. Before you get into your explanation, the Cowboys are 3-3, Eagles 3-3, Giants 2-4. So if you want to get into technically and this and that, yes, the Giants are right there in it. But now the thing for the Jets, they're in a division with the Patriots. So sorry,
well, it's obviously
Jets
not.
fans
And a Bills team that they can't beat.
Yeah, so sorry, Jets fans, you're not catching the Patriots. Even
They look for the wild card.
you
That's
have
what they
the
look.
easiest
Yeah,
schedule.
we're not. Yeah.
And
The Jet fans that are talking playoffs right now are looking at the wild card. I don't think they're that.
No, that's what I'm saying. I would understand maybe a little bit if your whole division was just sucking right now, like the NFC East. But
I know. I get what you're saying. You're right.
So it's a little harder when you basically have to shoot for the wild card because you know the division is not within grasp.
Yeah. And you got to play the Bills one more time, and you got to play the Patriots one more time. Did they play them already?
Well, they played them already. Yeah, they play next week, Monday night. They're playing them.
Yeah, you got to play two teams that you can never beat.
Can we play like 5 more games and then we can talk about playoffs? Like I don't want to talk about it right now.
They were talking about playoffs before the Cowboy game
I know.
even started. We had to see playoffs on Twitter. Mm-hmm. I saw something that said the Jets would go 12-4 and Adam Gase would win Coach of the Year. I threw my phone against the wall. I didn't do it.
I don't know why you did because that's still very, very possible.
Yeah,
they're 1-4. All right, just win the next
Jets
11.
Just win 11 more in a row.
What do you think? Everything that's happened in the NFL, it doesn't matter. I don't care if it's outside the NFL or if it's in the NFL, meaning games, or if it's refs, whatever it is. What is the biggest surprise so far for the NFL season in your two minds?
All the backup quarterbacks coming in and playing decent, other than the Jets.
I was going to say, that's a good one because you got a good amount of them.
Yeah.
All right, what about you, Ringel?
The biggest surprise, maybe the Chiefs losing right now back-to-back home games. Mm-hmm. I didn't think I'd ever see that.
So far?
So far, yeah.
All right, I'm going the 49ers.
Yes.
They are shocking me.
They're undefeated.
Undefeated.
They just easily took care of the Rams yesterday.
I'm
horrible.
I'm guessing they are for real. Which is
I guess
surprising to me.
Hey, they almost lost to the Steelers. Steelers should have won that game, too.
But now, look, the Steelers look not great, not good. They just look like they are coaching to what they are given.
I hate the Chargers are a disaster.
Oh, Phillip Rivers is.
It's
I feel bad for the guy
The
sometimes.
Steelers' defense has played good the past couple of weeks, but the thing is they can't do it for a full 4 quarters. Mm-hmm. They fall apart during games. Like yesterday, 17 points, bang, bang, bang. And now the Chargers are in it.
Well, that's the thing, though, about the NFL. It's hard to play great defense for a full 4 quarters.
I'm not asking great. I'm just looking for good. Like, just sustain a good defense for 4 quarters. That's not much too hard to ask. Mm-hmm. Teams do it all the time.
Yeah, but now, back to the 49ers. Yep, they're undefeated. Richard Sherman told everyone, well, you thought we were pretenders. Keep thinking that because now look at us. Which, Richard Sherman obviously likes to talk, but he's right. I'm included. I thought the 49ers... seeing the first few weeks, even like last week and now, I don't even take them as a serious contender just because there's no noise around them. You really don't hear anything about them.
Yeah, there's not much going on. But yeah, right now I take them pretty seriously after they dismantled the Rams in Los Angeles. Bless you.
But as good as they're playing, they could still not win that division. The Seahawks are right behind them and just as good, if not better, a team.
Yeah. Yeah, the Seahawks. Russell Wilson hasn't thrown an interception all year. He looks unstoppable.
Yeah, so like they could be like, and you also take the example of last year how the Colts started 1-5 and they ended up like going on that big stretch and made the playoffs.
Yeah, that's what the Jets are going to do.
The 49ers could flip that 5-0 and
I know
do what the Chiefs of old have done with Alex Smith. You know, they started off like 2 or 3 times, like 4-0, 5-0, and then they just choke.
Yeah, that one year they were 5-0 or something. They lost back-to-back games to the Jets and Giants. It was bad.
You
It
never.
was, yeah.
That's why it's so early. Like, yes, it's a short season. It's only 16 games compared to all the other major sports. Like, I get that, but it's still a long season with that.
Yeah.
You gotta just take it game by game. You gotta we can't talk about playoffs in week 6. No matter no matter if you're 5-0, 1-4, 2-3, 3-2, you can't.
They look good. They're 5-0 right now, but yeah, we'll give it a couple more weeks. They looked good.
Yeah, you got to see if they're legit. They're looking legit. You got to.
Goff.
The biggest thing is consistency, and that's in
Yeah.
anything.
I know.
In life.
Yeah, you need consistency, and you can't just go out and like the 49ers. Yeah, you're 5-0, but like we need to see. Unfortunately, we need to keep seeing
five
more.
games is making the argument towards consistency, but it's a 16-game season.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it could easily have injuries. Look at their quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, injury. He has injury history.
So if he goes down, their whole season goes down.
Yeah.
Unless you have one of those backup quarterbacks.
Well, I'm obviously
who we
talking
see
about
just-
them. I'm obviously talking about them completely healthy. I'm not talking about injuries.
Mhm. But that's the thing I always take into account when I have my team playing well or they're going into a season. You know, injuries are going to happen. It's just that's part of sports. That is part of
No one
sports.
ever expected your quarterback to get mono, though. That one was,
Is that even
that
technically like?
I
are
still
you
don't
on
understand
Are
how-
you injured? Would you have been on the IL for that? I think.
You'd be like, whenever you go to the pediatrician, you ever go to your the pediatrician I used to go to, you used to walk in the middle. It used to be a separate room, like the sick people, and then like
Yup.
the other
And
people
they're
that
just
aren't
getting checked.
Yeah, they're just getting checked.
Yep.
Sam Darnold would have to go with the sick people. Well, like everyone,
man.
like they would go for like rehab for their injuries. Like C.J. Mosley would go to the room on the left because he's rehabbing like a groin injury, and Herndon, whatever his name is, rehabbing his leg injury. He would go with C.J. Mosley, and then Sam Darnold would be the only one in the room on the right because he's sick. He's just sick.
Everyone's got masks on around them.
Yeah, everyone's got like a mask. Everyone has like a cast or a brace on or like a sling for their arm or whatever. Sam
Did you
Darnold
see that Iron Man armor that he had to wear
Yeah, it
yesterday?
was big armor. Yeah,
Yeah.
and a lot on him.
How many hits did he take yesterday?
Surprisingly, the offensive line played a lot better than they've been.
Well, yeah, because they had a guy's life in their hands. I could have been it for him if he got hit hard.
I think they only let up 1 sack. Let me check that. But
So while you check that, I'm just going to quickly talk about the two things. Out of the Rams, Cowboys, and Chiefs, the 3 teams that started off all undefeated and have dropped their last 8 combined.
2 sacks.
2? Well, that's not bad. That dropped their last 8 combined. Obviously, in my mind, the Chiefs are the team that will be getting out of it the quickest. Is that true? Maybe not, but in my mind, I believe out of the Rams, Cowboys, those are the 2 teams that I feel like.
Yeah, you have to you
Yeah.
have to give it to the Chiefs. They've shown you the most confidence throughout the last 2 seasons that they're legit, and it's probably just a little skid they're going through, and they'll clean things up.
Yep, and we quickly talked about Russell Wilson, who is just on a tear. Obvious MVP in my mind so far for the season, depending on how the rest plays out. But he has a 100-plus passer rating in all of the games this season, 6 of them. The only 2 players with more such games to start a season in the Super Bowl era is Tom Brady in 2007 and Aaron Rodgers, who had 12. Both won the MVP for that season. That's crazy.
I think I picked him in fantasy, even though I'm going to lose this week.
Yeah, I'm going to surprisingly go to 6-0 for no reason, just because my team is just not that great on paper, but they're just playing well.
Are you getting good matchups then? Would you play
right
this
now,
week?
my points-wise, I think I'm like 3rd in points, but I was going to say I threw in Golden Tate this week, got me 17 points or whatever. Tyreek Hill, I threw in back from injury, got me 20. So,
Did you see that catch he made?
well, it's
That
crazy.
his
He gets
first
up,
touchdown?
man. He gets up there.
I forgot how high he can get up.
That was crazy. So
Yeah.
we
I'm
have
a
to.
peacock. You got to let me fly.
We're gonna wrap this up, but before we do so, I went 1-2 with our picks. Obviously, you can go back to Twitter and
We all
check
go
them
1 and
out.
2.
I went 1-2. I believe Jordan went 1-2, and I think Ringo added to his lead a little bit, going 2-1. So we have that going. But this week for the Thursday game, what do we have, Jordan?
I think we're all in agreement
I
here.
think we have it's Packers home to the Lions. Packers are 3.5-point favorites at home.
Well, that's Monday. That's today.
Oh, that's today. Oh. Which is the
Wow,
wrong
I
game.
did this. I did the same thing. I said we're all in agreement here. I was looking at the Packers.
Well, yeah,
Ah,
all right, well, tonight we all take the Packers.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
that's
that doesn't
great.
even matter. All
Yeah,
right,
that's
so
right.
this Thursday's game, my bad. We have the Broncos home to the Chiefs, and the Chiefs are 3.5-point favorites.
All right,
All
I
right.
think we're all in agreement
I
here.
think we're all in agreement here.
I'm going to
All
say
right.
the same
And we're all
thing.
talking Broncos, right, guys?
You know what?
Broncos, yeah. Woo.
Soon, I shouldn't have gave up that I was talking about Monday night. I could have lied. I could have said I was talking about Thursday night the whole time.
But yeah, no. All right. So we're all going Chiefs minus
We
3.5
go 1,
away.
2, 3. Me and Tom go Chiefs. Ringo goes Packers.
Yeah, that's what would have happened.
That would have been hilarious. Oh man. So yep, we're all going Chiefs minus 3.5 away against the Broncos this Thursday.
Packer.
Oh man, Ringo, I would have loved that. We'd be like, okay, Ringo, Thursday comes. Packers don't even play, so me and Jordan make up a game.
What are we going with? I like the Packers. I like the Packers minus 3. What?
That's hysterical.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right,
boy.
so I guess we're all going Chiefs.
Chiefs.
I got 2 teams. Broncos, no. Packers, no. Chiefs, minus 3.5. Imagine the Chiefs lose 3 in a row to the Broncos.
Yeah, we're taking a risk. We got to hope they bounce back.
They will bounce back. It's the Broncos.
I know.
Well, we're technically not taking a risk because we're all going the same way, so
It's the
doesn't
stupid
really.
Broncos.
That's
Steelers are-
true.
Oh, Steelers are on a bye next week. I didn't know that. You know the Week 8 Monday Night Football is the Steelers home to the Dolphins. It's a horrible game.
That might be the first flex.
That's probably the
You
flex.
better hope that's the
No,
first.
I don't
flex.
think I don't think they flex Monday night games. I think it's just Sunday night.
Yeah, no, I think you're right because you can't change the.
Because you
day.
can't change a day of the game, but you can change a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah,
We're
we
stuck
got to
with that
watch
one.
that.
But why would you make that? When you start the season, yes, maybe the Steelers will be something good. But what are
I
you
guess-
assuming out of the Dolphins?
I guess Josh Rosen, they wanted to give him a little prime
I
time.
guess
I
they
don't
really
know.
love the Steelers. That's why. That had to be. But
So put a different Steeler game on there.
all right, well, that's going to do it for today's show. The earlier Impractical, we'd be starting our show right now, but today we had to start a little bit earlier. We're going back to usually 11 to 12 on Friday. We'll have a lot to discuss, really, with the ALCS and the championship series. We could have a National League champion on Friday. We can have a. Could we have? We can have a.
We can have both.
American League champion.
Yeah, we could have both.
If we get a 3-game
We can have
sweep.
a World Series by Friday.
We can have a World Series by Friday. We'll have a lot to discuss. Then we'll have 3 games in a row for the Yankee series, and we'll have 3 games in a row for the National Series.
Yeah,
So,
the national, the NLCS is today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, and then Yankees are Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yep, and Friday we're gonna have a clear indication of what's going on. Pretty much, we can have a winner. We can have a split series. We don't know, but that's gonna do it. Tom,
Yep.
will you say something?
Got to get my stat in there. Lamar Jackson, first player in the Super Bowl era for a regular season, with 200 passing yards and over 150 rushing yards.
Yeah, he was the fantasy leader in rushing yards. I'm pretty sure yesterday.
What do you have?
He had like 150, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
a
and a
touchdown,
touchdown.
on 15 carries.
I was gonna say I played him
Insane.
in. Is it our league? I think yeah.
Yeah, you have him in our league.
Yeah, 30 points. I was a little nervous because I saw nothing going on in the passing when you look at like the stats, but then you scroll down a little bit, bam,
Rushing,
I was like,
15,
okay.
150
I'll
touchdown.
take it.
Yeah.
It's like another running back out there for me.
All right, so that's going to do it. Jordan here. As always, Tom to my right. Ringo over the Skype. We will see you Friday, 11 to 12, Practical Talker Sports Show.